Moms take pride in getting as much done as possible, but when that doesn't happen, my next guest says we beat ourselves up. Dr. Julie Hanks points out that when summer winds down, our guilt ramps up. Julie, why is that the case? Why do we do that?
I don't know. I think whenever there's a change, like there's a chapter closing, summer's almost over, we tend to evaluate, okay, what did we do, what did we not do? And I think it's just human nature to focus on what we didn't get done, or the trips we didn't take, or the organizing projects we didn't do. And so it's really, our brain tends to focus on negative over the positive.
I started doing this last week because my little 5-year-old went off to kindergarten for the first time. And I started saying, oh my goodness, last week we didn't do anything. We didn't go to the pool, we didn't, but my kids wanted to stay home. And so I thought, why am I beating myself up over this? This is silly, but it's not always that easy. I mean, it just kind of naturally start pounding away at yourself. So you're gonna kind of help us walk through how we can avoid some of that beating up.
Definitely, and the first thing I wanna bring up is to stop comparing. I caught myself doing this just last week. I'm like, oh man, they went to Europe. They went to Lake Powell. We only did a camping trip, and we're still in Utah, and kind of doing that comparison thing. And I caught myself, luckily, and I'm like, okay, stop it. This is, my kids, it was so fun. They loved it. And so I think stopping the comparison and recognizing every family does things differently at different times, and that's okay. You don't have to match, it's not a contest.
Well, and sometimes I think we compare, but our kids maybe aren't comparing. So
or our kids compare, and then we
compare, and then I guess it could be vice versa.
They got to go to Disney,
But keeping that perspective.
Right, and go, well, yeah, this is, our family's different, we're in a different place, whatever that is. Being able to own what is for your family.
Do we put too much emphasis on the end result, kind of what we're trying to accomplish?
Yes, there's something about like being productive, and I don't know if it's like this Western or like work ethic kind of thing, but like we gotta be productive all the time. And so it's important to also remember that the process that we go through is important. For example, if you're helping maybe your kids do their chores, how you help them is just as important as actually getting the job done. It's always about the relationship. It's not about the task. And so process, I mean, in my view, is as important, if not more, than the actual product. Does that make sense?
So step back and remember that it's the product, it's not everything you've done to get, and it might take a little longer. We might have to be a bit more patient.
Exactly. A friend of mine was complaining, like, my house is such a mess, my kids just leave their stuff all over. Luckily, school's gonna start, right? And it's like, I asked her, did you have fun this summer? Did your kid, did you enjoy your house? Well, then it's all good. Like, that's the process over the finished product.
Yeah, and it's okay to be unproductive, you say, too. You don't have to always be that busy Energizer bunny.
No, isn't that a relief?
Well, yeah, it is. Although it doesn't always feel like you can, just sit back and be unproductive.
Yeah. It's interesting in creativity research, in the stages of creativity, there's one called incubation, which is where an idea or a concept just kind of is on the back burner, but our mind is still working on it, even though we're not focused on it. And so taking breaks, taking a rest is really important for our creativity, for our relationships. Just because you're not actually accomplishing something doesn't mean you're not working on things. As a songwriter, I found that a lot of times I'll wake up and I can tell my brain has been working on finding the right word for something. So when you're asleep, your brain's working, and we need rest in order to be able to work. Like, those go together. We cannot just work all the time without the rest. That's kind of this circular, recursive kind of thing. So taking a break and being unproductive, or lazy, we call it, but I don't call it lazy. It's like, it's being smart.
Don't you think sometimes, though, we tie our self-worth or how good of a person or good of a mom we are to how productive we are?
Right. Busy. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. The busier the better is kind of the, like, oh, I'm so stressed, and I've got so much to do at work, and it kind of makes us feel like we're more important.
Yeah.
I don't know who started that, but let's stop it right here.
So how do we rethink our expectations and kind of get out of that way of thought?
Challenging our beliefs about that is really important. Like the more productive I am, the more value I have as a human being. Right? Like really? So what about people who are injured and aren't able to do what you can do? Does that mean they're less valuable? No.
Mm-hmm.
So there's something about worth that is inherent and not about our behavior. So, say there's someone who's a mom or a woman who's going back to school. She doesn't do well on a test. It's like, well, okay, does that mean she's less valuable? No, it just means her performance wasn't very good on that particular test.
Isn't it funny how we judge ourselves differently in different situations and kind of rethink taking a step back and rethinking the way we value things and what our beliefs are is really important.
And I think some of us, and I used to believe this, that like I'm supposed to feel guilty, like that's gonna motivate me, and it actually does not. Guilt is a really bad motivator long term. Right? Joy, passion, and love, that like will work long term.
Okay, well, those are good tips. Julie, where can people find you?
At wasatchfamilytherapy.com or I forget, it's drjuliehanksnow.com.
Okay. All right. Thanks so much, Julie. Still